All right, hello and welcome. This is our FitEssentials basics class. If you're using the blood flow bands, we've already added air. So if you're on the recording, go ahead and press pause and do that now. And when you're ready, we are going to start with some breathing exercises from seated. So here we go. Go ahead and come right to the edge of your chair. You want to sit up nice and tall. We're going to do our seated cat-cow. So you're going to draw the stomach in, place one hand at the bottom of the thighs, like right over top of the knees. Then when you're ready to breathe out, you're going to draw that belly in, roll those shoulders forward, tuck that chin down and in, and then on the breath in, just slightly slide the hands up the thighs, draw those shoulders back, looking forward, slightly up. Let's go about 3 to 4 more times. Breathing out, rolling that shoulders forward, head down. Breathing in, try to take a nice deep breath and then open through the chest and the front body. Wonderful. A few more times. Exhale, rounding down. Inhale. You want to look up to where the wall meets the ceiling. So instead of straight up to overhead, like looking up and forward, and then bowing it down twice more. And final time, breathing out. Breathing in and shake it out. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and raise your arms up if you can. If you need to push into your legs, by all means, pull yourself up to standing. There you go. Yep, awesome. Good, Shirley. Wonderful. And then once you make your way up to standing, clear your space a little bit, and we're going to just loosen up through those hips and low back with our hip circles. Rotating about 3 to 5 times in one direction. Good. And then when you're ready, take them the other way. Side to side, back and forth. Fantastic. Maintain that soft bend in the knee, and let's loosen up a bit through those wrists. Make a fist and roll the wrist around. Very good. Change directions. Roll the wrist the other way. Wonderful. And shake it out. All right. Watch me real quick first. All right. So for the elevated knee to elbow, you're going to support through both hands. And then what it's going to look like, you're going to start with your left leg. You're going to hold your belly neutral, breathing in as you draw the knee towards the elbow, and then really fight to stay neutral. And you're going to extend the leg behind. So it looks like this. I'll breathe in, draw the knee up, and then breathe out, extend the leg back. We don't want this toe to rotate away. We want to keep it pointing down towards the floor, in and out. All right, so shake it out. Coming into position, we'll go ahead and get ready to get started here. We're going to be working this for a full 45 seconds. So if you need to take a break before we get to that time, please do. Otherwise, 2, 1, here we go. Breathe in as you draw the knee up. Breathing out, extending through that hip. And then really watch that midline. It's really common to arch that lower spine as you extend that leg back. So draw that belly in. Try to squeeze the glute on that trail leg. In and back. And then our goal for the upper body is to have those arms nice and straight. So keeping the elbow straight. Breathing in. Breathing out. That's our 30-second mark. If you want to shake it out there. Otherwise, we plan for a full 45 here. But if this is a newer exercise for you, if you're feeling a little bit tired today, no problem on just resting for or working for 30. Final time. And there's our 45. Stand up in between legs. Shake out those arms. And then in between legs, we're going to do our windmills. So I'm going to walk my feet about hip width apart. Raise those arms to the side. And then we're going to practice hinging at the hips as I reach for the opposite thigh. Squeeze the glutes and standing tall, bowing down, reaching towards that opposite leg. Nice. Nice wide base stance here. Hold you nice and stable. Reach. Squeeze those glutes. Palms rotate forward. Good. Over and up. Maybe one more time on each leg. Down and stand. Good job. From there, we're going to get ready for the opposite leg. I'm going to demo from the opposite side so you can see, but you're welcome to stay in the same plane. And now it's going to be working that right leg. So draw the stomach in, placing both hands down And then when you're ready, raise the right knee towards the right shoulder. I'm going to probably kick my box, extend that right leg, breathing in as you draw the knee in, breathing out as you extend. Making sure you keep an eye on that low back. Once you know the position, looking down between the hands. In and out. Nice job. Work. Knee up and lightly extend. Whew, that other hip's getting tired. You can place both legs down for a second. Couple more. I was feeling my left hip starting to get pretty tired to support that body. And last time. Awesome job. Come all the way up to standing. Woo. All righty. Let's return to our hip circles as you come up to standing. Kind of loosen up through those hips. And then same thing other way, just a couple times each direction. Rotate here and rotate back. A little bit different variation than we did the first time. Good. Nice job. All right, we're going to go one more time through. This time I'm going to take it down to 30 seconds. Just we got a little bit late start, so we're going to shorten up the interval a little bit, but you'll still get a really good session here. Draw that stomach in, place one hand underneath each shoulder, and we're back to that left hip. So walk those feet back. Think about like the top of that push-up position. Stomach's drawn in, and then when you're ready, you'll breathe in as you draw the knee up. Breathe out as you extend that left leg. Focus to keeping the toe pointing down towards the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. I know I'm not the best example because I'm oftentimes looking at the screen, but I want you to look forward. To keep an eye on those of you that are here live. In and back. Couple more. And 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Return to standing. We're going to repeat that windmill exercise that we did in between legs last time. And for this windmill, we want to have the feet outside those hips. So inch those feet out, root down into those legs, breathe in, spread those fingers, spread those arms nice and wide. And then you want to practice pushing your hips back or pushing your butt back as you bow forward. Pushing your knees out as well. You'll have that little bend in the knees, and then you alternate sides. If you want to reach a little bit lower than your thigh, your flexibility allows for that. You can reach a little bit lower and then come all the way up. Maybe one more each direction. When you finish both ways, take a pause. All right, we've got that elevated knee to elbow on the second leg, which should be your right leg. So when you're ready, go ahead and start to get into position. Spread those hands nice and wide as you place the arms down, drawing that stomach in. And then here we go on the right leg, breathing in and breathing out as you extend. Toe pointing down, protecting that lower back, really drawing the belly in throughout. Halfway through. Those arms nice and straight. Get my triceps working here with these bands on, holding the top of this plank. And do one more time. Knee in, leg extends back, and there's our rest. Good job. Coming back up to standing. Toes are pointing forward. Draw your shoulders back. Root down into your legs so you have a nice strong foundation. And then when you're ready, we're going to reach one hand to overhead. Opposite hand comes to the opposite thigh. You can peer up to that hand if you'd like, and then we switch. Palm up of the downside hand, palm down of the hand that's overhead, between 3 and 5 times each way. Kind of adds a little side stretch, so you're going to think about leaning away from the side that's reaching up to overhead. Stretching that side body nice and smooth. Wonderful. Coordination, lengthening last time each direction. And shake it out. All righty. Walking the feet back in so the feet are a little bit closer, toes are pointing forward. We're going into our march and punch next. So bring those hands to the side. Do this one quite a bit here, but it's really good for the brain, good for the body, practicing lifting those knees up, breathing out as you punch the arm diagonally across the body. So our goal is to keep our legs straight on. Draw that stomach in as you raise that leg up. It's that moment of balance practice. Woo! I start to go back a little bit there. Breathing out with that punch. Nice. 10 seconds left. Good. One more time. Out, back, and take your rest. Nice job. All right, from here, I'm going to do the sit and stand for the first round. So if you want to meet me back in the chair, we're going to do a little stretch for the low back. And then we're going to be practicing either a squat or, like I mentioned, I'm going to use the chair on round one. So come on into your seated position. Returning to the edge of the chair, feet flat on the ground. Draw that stomach in. And then when you're ready, we're going to do our forward fold here. So I'm going to bow the head down. And now I'm going to slide the hands down the shins just to get a nice gentle stretch in that low back. Bow the head down. And see if you can take about 2 to 3 nice deep breaths into the backside. Trying to expand your lungs. And then when you're ready on that next inhale, come on back up to seated. Good. Make sure your feet are nice and strong. And now we're going to stretch our upper body before we move into our next exercise. So pick an arm, raise that arm up to overhead. Draw your chin in, and then we're going to try to stretch that tricep, bending the elbow, reaching around behind you as you pull that elbow back. Very good. Harder than it looks. There you go. Grab it onto that other arm, nice, Shirley. And when you're ready, go ahead and release that side. Shake out those arms. And then we're going to do the same thing in the other direction. Chin in as I reach up, try not to sway back, bend that elbow, reach around, and pulling that arm back. Good. Eyes looking forward. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and release. Good job. Just a couple shoulder rolls, up and back, loosen up through those shoulders. All right, from here, we're going to start our sit and stand. So place your feet, kind of walk them in about hip width apart, and then either pushing off your legs to come up to standing, or if you can, reach your arms straight out. So here we go. We're going to practice this for 45 seconds, coming all the way up, squeeze the glutes, and then eyes up, knees push wide as you lower back down. Coming back to that chair. Try to sit down as controlled as you can, and then pulling yourself back up. No shame if you got to push through those legs, no problem. You can push into the thighs and then stand tall, and then try to reach the arms in front of the body to lower. Good. Pull yourself up, squeeze the glutes, nice, and then lowering back and down. Fantastic. 20 seconds, reach. Pull if you can do it without pushing off the legs. Awesome. And then draw that stomach in, lowering back. Maybe one more time, reaching out, pulling up to standing. Fantastic. And then go ahead and stay there once you get up. All right. Make sure you have a nice clear space. Next, we're going to practice our hinging pattern. So toes pointing forward, walking your feet in so they're just underneath the hips. Check in with your midsection. It's really common to just let those hips roll forward. So think about drawing the belly in so that your hips rock back, and that holds your spine nice and neutral. And now we're going to go into our I Dream It Genie arms. Arms up and over the shoulders. With that soft bend in the knees, you're going to practice sending the hips back, bowing forward, and then push into the floor, standing tall. Rest the arms down on your chest as you stand back up. Excellent. Breathing in, long spine, sending those hips back. Yep, kind of looking down as you bow forward. Excellent. And then squeeze the glutes, coming all the way up. Wonderful. 2 to 3 more times. Breathing in, try to feel those hamstrings as you send those hips back. I can't quite feel them today, but sometimes if you're tight in your hamstrings, you will feel them on that forward hinge. Over and up. Final time. Raise those arms up as you bow down. Nice, good. And all the way up to the top. Fantastic. From here, final exercise of this series, we're going to do our little side step arm swing. Stepping in, arms are close, crossing them over. Stepping out, I open the hands, open the arms, rotate the hands forward. Stepping in, opposite arm on top. Stepping out, open up through the hands. Good. In and out. In and out. If anybody wants to practice that higher step, we're going to add that step over option on the next round. 10 more seconds. Open and close. Open and close. Final time. Here and rest. Nice job. Let's grab a drink. And we're going to go back to that sit and stand. You can use the chair, or if you'd rather do like a half squat without the chair, that's also an option. We'd start here in about 10 seconds. You need a little bit longer break. Just join us when you feel ready to go. So I'm going to walk my feet out about hip width apart, draw that stomach in, and then when you're ready, we're practicing that half squat, either sitting into your chair, standing tall, or reach those arms out. Practice sending those hips back, and then squeeze the glutes as you stand tall from there. Back and up. As you sit back into the heels, find the big toe, pushing that toe down into the floor. Breathing in as you sit back, breathing out as you stand tall. Wonderful. Knees pushing out, eyes looking up. Breathing in, breathing out. 10 seconds. Breathe through the burn. Down and up. Final time. And take a rest. Nice job. Instead of the good morning, which is what we did last time with that forward bow, if you have a light to moderate weight that you feel comfortable to lift towards the floor, go ahead and pick up your weight now. I'm going to hold it right between the legs. Still have my feet about hip width apart. Everything we talked about as far as that hip position. So draw the belly in, squeeze those shoulders back. And then when you're ready, you're going to practice that long spine, controlling the weight down right between the legs, and then squeeze and stand. So practicing how you'd pick up a laundry basket, grocery bags, maybe some small animals or small children. We want to be able to hinge over, hold strong through that belly, because that midline is what supports our spine to hold good position. And then pushing into the floor as we stand up nice and tall. Excellent. Breathing in as you lower down, breathing out as you stand. 1 or 2 more. Down and up. Last time. When you finish that, set your weight to the side. Those of you that are wearing the bands, you can go ahead and release the air. Press that little white nozzle. Go ahead and keep the bands on for now, though. We'll take them off here after we finish this circuit. And then we're going to be back to that side step arm swing with the option of the step over. So again, it looked like this last time with a nice low step, practicing that side to side action. If you want a little extra challenge, you can pretend you've got a dog here that you got to step over. You can imagine that you're stepping in and out of the bathtub, up and over, opening through those hips. Good. I'm still spreading the arms open as I step out, crossing the arms over as I step in. Good. 20 more seconds. Really lift up through the belly as you lift your leg off the ground. Help stabilize through that midsection. Nice. And keep your body breathing. Sometimes we start to hold the breath. Excellent. And 2, 1, and take a rest. All right, grab a drink. We're going to do it one more time through, starting back with those squats. And on this last round of squats, I want you to focus more on how deep can you get for your body. So I'm going to show you by using my chair to assist. If you are someone that it's really challenged to get down in a deep squat, then hold on to something so that you can get your hips a little bit lower. If you feel comfortable with your squat and you want to add weight this time, then you can hold a weight up underneath your chin. Otherwise, set those feet about hip width apart, draw that stomach in, and then when you're ready, we're going to have 45 seconds to practice sinking back and down, keeping my heels planted, paying attention to the knees, pushing those knees out and all the way up. Also a really great time to kind of engage all those smaller muscles of the midline. So I draw the pelvis up and in. I just imagine that if I'm like holding my, what do I want to say? When you're trying to go to the bathroom, right? Or you have to go potty and you have to really hold everything in. That's 30 seconds. Maybe one or two more. Looking forward as you lower yourself down, keeping that chest as tall as you can, and then driving down through those legs as you come up to standing. Awesome. There's our 45. So there's the end of our squatting. And then we're going to get ready for our last little bit of deadlifting. If you have more than one weight that you can hold, this time I'm going to go a little bit heavier, holding one weight on each side of the body. And now instead of having my hands in between, I'm going to walk my feet a little bit closer. Otherwise, everything else is the same. So shoulders back, soft bend in those knees, drawing the stomach in, and then I'm practicing that hinging position where I'm bowing forward with that long spine, and I'm really engaging my shoulders. So I'm squeezing my shoulders back, engaging what's called your lat muscles to keep the weight close to your body. If we don't engage the arms, oftentimes what it looks like is the arms will, or the weights will swing out in front of us. So that's why we want to keep those shoulders back, bring it right down beside the legs, push through the feet, squeezing the backside as I stand all the way up. Long spine. We're going to take about another 15 seconds here. Standing tall. Excellent. Breathing in as you lower, coming down with control, and then breathing out, standing nice and tall with good confidence. Good. Final time. Breathing in, bowing forward, midline strong, push through those legs, standing all the way up. Wonderful. You're using some weights there. Go ahead and set them down. Our last exercise before our stretch break, we're going to return to that side step with the arm swing, or if you are choosing that higher step option, that step over. So I'm really pushing into the floor, lifting up and closing down. We'll spend about 45 seconds here. Open and close. Squeeze the shoulders back. Nice. Be just a nice soft smile. When we smile, a lot of things happen, but one of the things is it helps reinforce our psychology to then have that positive reinforcement with exercise, but it also helps to relax all the different muscles of our face. It helps to calm our stress response. So just a little bit of a smile. Sometimes it doesn't feel genuine to like have a big smile, but just like softly smile as you move. There you go. And 2, 1, and we are all done there. Awesome. If you were using those bands and like to take them off, go ahead and un-Velcro now, and then you're going to meet me in the chair. We're going to do a little bit of stretching before we come into our final circuit. If your energy is a little bit lower today, you know, we've got almost 30 minutes in already, so just use this next stretch as your cool down stretch and give yourself a break from this last round. Otherwise, take a drink, take a rest. Good job. All right. We have a little bit of overhead work in the next exercise. So what I'd like to do first is get some good movement through the rib cage. We're gonna do our mid-back rotations. Go ahead and take, if you're mirroring me, it'd probably be your right hand on the inside of the knee. Just rest it there on the knee. And then take that left arm, hand behind the head, draw this elbow back, sitting as tall as you can. And then as you breathe in, we're gonna round forward, bringing the elbow towards the opposite thigh. And then as you sit tall, gently exhale, pushing into that knee, and then turning your body, looking over that shoulder. We're gonna go about 5 times here. Breathing in, bowing down, sitting tall, breathing out to get a nice opening through that rib cage. Breathing in, down, sitting tall, and a nice little exhale as you rotate. Couple more. Final time. In between arms, we're going to repeat that forward fold that we did earlier on. So after you finish that 5th time, go ahead and rest those arms down. You need to reposition on your seat. Draw that stomach in. I'm going to start with the hands on the thighs. I'm going to bow my head down, and then I'm going to slowly slide again down towards the ankles. The idea is to give a mild stretch into that low back so you control how far you bow down. And then if you can hang out here without getting dizzy for a few breaths, tuck the chin in, breathe into the back. And then when you're ready, gradually come back up to seated. Draw those shoulders back and down, and then we're going to do those mid-back rotations on the other side. So now the left hand is going to sit on the inside of the knee. Draw that right hand back behind you, and think about how far can I pull my elbow behind me. So I open through that chest. When you're ready to breathe in, draw that belly in, bow forward. It's totally okay if you can't make contact with that elbow to the thigh, just bring it in that direction. And then this is the key part, to rotate and to look over that shoulder. 4 more times, breathing in, bowing forward, sitting up as tall as you can as you rotate back. Try to follow that elbow of your right arm with your eyes. Pausing there 3 more times, down, sitting tall, breathing out, twice more. Final time. And rest. Awesome job. All right, as we get ready for some overhead work, we want to do our seated side stretch or seated apple picking, up and across, reaching up. Let your body bend as well. So I'll get my feet a little bit wider to have a little bit more space, stability as I reach over and back, over and back. Let's get 1 more each way. I feel like you lengthen through that side body and then rest. Good. All right, if you have a nice light dumbbell, you can pick that up now. Or if you just want to kind of open up through the shoulders, I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to pick up a dumbbell, bringing it up to overhead. And the goal here is to bend the elbows. I'm lowering the weight behind me, and then I extend my elbows, bringing it up to overhead. So you can do it standing, but I like it seated, especially if you're really stiff through your mid body. You don't overarch that spine, okay? And it is my job to make this look easy, right? It's what I'm here to do. Don't be too hard on yourself if it's a lot harder. If it's bothering your neck, or if you feel like you're really pushing your head forward to do this exercise, then I recommend, instead of that overhead dumbbell extension, you could also just do an overhead press, where I bring the weight in front of my chin, and then I try to press it to overhead. It might end up a little bit in front, but you're not going to compromise your head and neck position. All right, so when you are ready, we'll get ready for that overhead tricep extension, and then we're going to come up to standing after this exercise. So again, either overhead press, or if you can do the dumbbell extension, I'm going to hold the weight with both hands, fingers interlaced, draw my chin in, draw my belly in, bending at the elbows, lowering the weight behind me, and then I extend my elbows, trying to extend the arms, bend and extend. Nice. Down and up. Good. Keep pulling that chin in. Down, bend and extend. Lock out those arms. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Down, up, down, and rest. Woo, good job bringing it down. And then when you're ready, you're gonna make your way to standing. Our next exercise is gonna be our dumbbell row. This is our first of 2 rounds of this final circuit. So as you're getting ready, let me just show you what it's gonna look like. You're gonna use a chair, tabletop works great. And I like to come in just like a little bit of a stagger stance. And then we're gonna be doing this exercise here where I'm gonna lifting up and rowing forward. We'll get started here in about 15 seconds. So give yourself a minute to get in, or a second to get into position. Toes are pointing forward. Draw the stomach in, practicing that soft bend in the knees and hinging at the hips. If you're starting in your left hand, you're gonna step your left foot back, just a little mini stagger stance. And then when you're ready, reach that weight towards the floor and then pull that elbow straight up towards the ceiling. Breathing out as you draw that weight in towards your body. Breathing in as you reach forward. Looking down at the floor or at your support hand and the arm that's not holding the weight. Ideally, you want to keep that elbow nice and straight. Breathing in as you reach forward. Breathing out as you row high. We planned a full 45 seconds here. We're 30 seconds in right now. If you need a little bit of a break, just come out early. Otherwise, about 2 to 3 more reps. We like to do a lot of rowing to help encourage those shoulder blade position. 2, 1, and rest. In between sides, we're going to stand up. We're going to work a little bit of balance. But first, we're going to just give a little gentle rock for those hips side to side. Nice. All right, and the balance work that we're going to do is going to practice that sway step. So I'm going to keep my feet nice and wide. I'm going to raise my arms out to the side. And then when you're ready, we're going to shift our weight to one side. You can keep that foot on the ground. As you switch sides, kind of bend down a little bit, relax those arms, and then switching your weight to the other side, spread the hands wide. Wonderful. Breathing in, bowing forward, breathing out, expand your body. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out. How far can you stretch from fingertip to fingertip? Down and up. Wonderful. Down and lift. Or practicing that sway, practicing your body being able to adjust from side to side to help maintain that balance. Good. And one more time. Down, up, and shake it out. Good job. Take a short break. And then we're going to be back to that dumbbell row on your right arm. We'll start here in about 15 seconds. So I'm going to make my way into position. Toes are pointing forward. Draw the belly in. So I'm going to rest your left hand down. Step your right foot back, just that little mini stagger stance. And then when you're ready, reaching your right arm with that dumbbell towards the floor. Breathing out as you draw that elbow straight up towards the ceiling. Try to keep your shoulder down out of the ear. Breathing in as you reach, breathing out as you row. You can pause in that top position, squeeze that little shoulder blade back towards your spine. We're training our bodies away from that forward shoulder posture. That's 30 seconds in. If you want to stop early, there's not anything wrong with that. Actually, it's a lot of times it's smart if you're like, hey, I think my body needs a break. Otherwise, 2, 1, and there's our 45. Woo! All righty. Grab a drink and then meet me back in the chair. We're going to do one more round. We'll be going back to that overhead tricep extension. If you prefer to do it standing, you can, but I'm going to show it from the chair. All righty. So I'll kind of show it from the side. Draw the stomach in, trying to bring both hands to overhead. And this is where we tend to sway back. So if you're arching back too much, again, you could do just the overhead press. Or if you're ready for the tricep extension, we bend the elbows and extend the elbows. Focused on that head and neck position. So hold that chin in, keeping those eyes looking forward, down and up. Good. way through. If you get halfway and you're like, my neck doesn't feel great there, then come back and bring the weight in front of the face and then just press it up to overhead or right in front. Down and up. Both of them are going to work those triceps. Nice. That's our 30 seconds. If you got started a little bit late and you want to add a few more reps in, I'll keep it moving. If you're ready to rest, shake it out. And 2, 1, and all done there. Awesome. All right, we're going to come up one more time. Dumbbell row on each arm with that sway practice in between sides. And then we'll be all done except for our cool down stretch. We'll get started here in about 30 seconds with that left arm dumbbell row. All righty. Feel free if your water glass is nearby, if you're ready to go. I want to take a little bit more of a break. We'll start here in 10 seconds. I'm going to start with my toes pointing forward, drawing the stomach in, hinging at the hips as I support down through my right hand. That little stagger stance of that left leg back. And then whenever you're ready to start, we'll start our 45 seconds. Getting that shoulder blade moving, reaching forward, drawing that elbow up and back. Breathing nice and smooth as you move. Good. Great elbow position, Shirley. How high can you pull that elbow? Squeezing it in. Sometimes as we reach forward with the hand, our head and neck will start to push forward as well. So focus in, drawing that chin back. Try not to let the head move as you row the arm. 3, 2, 1, and there's that 45. Awesome job. Set the weight down. Coming up to standing. Take a little bit of a break. Some little side-to-side rotations. We're going to practice that sway once again, and then we'll have our final exercise with the dumbbell row. So feet about hip width apart. Breathing in as you expand through those arms, and then pick the side you want to start on. If you do want to come up to a single leg, you can pick that leg off the ground. Otherwise, it also works great just to sway by leaving both feet on the ground, but shifting where your center of gravity is, which leg is holding more weight. Good. Down, relax the arms, up, expand your body, spread the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back, standing up high. Good. Down and up. Remember that soft smile as you spread the arms. Try to just smile lightly. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's go one more time, but each side. Down and up. Down, up, and shake it out. Woo! All right, friends. Just that dumbbell row to finish should be in your right arm to finish it out here. We'll start in about 20 seconds. So as you come over to your spot, check back in with your feet. We're going to start with the toes forward, belly in. Establish that soft bend the knees, reaching with that left hand. Step your right foot back just a little bit. And then when you're ready, you're going to grab your weight with that right hand, reaching forward. Rowing starts now. Eyes looking down at the floor, holding that head nice and neutral. And you can add that little pause in that top position, holding that weight right against your chest, building the strength in that mid back. Keeping that breathing going, breathing in on that forward reach, breathing out on the row. That's 30 seconds. Stopping anytime you need. Otherwise, you got that full 45 here. And 2, 1. There's our 45. Woo! Nice job. Shake it out. Come on up. We're going to do a couple little movement pieces from standing. And then we'll take a seat in the chair for our final cool down stretch. So first part of our cool down, get some rotation through the torso. Start with the arms away from the body. Just a little mini bend in those knees. If you're comfortable to turn the head and neck, Go ahead and rotate your head and neck, looking over one shoulder and then the other. And then from here, we can start to lift those elbows, bend, and lightly tap your hands against the front of the torso and the back of the torso. See if you can match it up so that when your hands are tapping your body, you're breathing out or exhaling. Wonderful. Let's get about 2 or 3 more each direction. This is a great exercise, both for a warm-up or a cool down. Get some good movement through the spine and return to the arms away from the body. And then just practice like slowly coming to a stop. Awesome. All right. From here, I want to open up the front of the hips before we sit down. So don't sit down on me yet. You can stay standing for just a minute. Toes pointing forward, soft bend in the knees. Let's start with your left leg, that little quarter stance, so that little stagger stance back. You can't rock back into that heel. You're going to keep both knees bent. We're going to do our hip openers. So we're going to go back to those I Dream It Genie arms. And now I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to do the hip rock and then the forward hip shift. And then you rotate lightly. So we're getting a nice opening through that hip flexor. Neutral position. Hips rock back. You can rest those arms down, pushing those hips forward, trying to flex this glute, trying to squeeze that muscle, that trail leg, help open the front, and then a little rotation towards your lead leg. Last time, hips back, hips forward, and then lightly turn. Good job. Shake it out, and we'll balance it out on the opposite side. So let's see, left forward, right foot back. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. Draw that stomach in, hands up. So that hip shift is really key here. I'm rocking forward, keeping that front heel planted, and then a gentle rotation. Trying to flex that glute of that trail leg. Back to neutral. Relax those arms down, hips back, hips forward. Raise up so you can lengthen through that torso as you gently turn once again. Good. Neutral position. Back, forward, and final time. There you go. And shake it out. All right. Feel free to grab a drink, and then we'll finish from seated. Just a couple finishing stretches. Hold myself account to that. Couple means 2. Sometimes I add in a few extra. We'll do 2 stretches for both sides of the body, and then we'll finish with our breathing exercises. So as you come to seated, we're going to do our seated rotations with our shoulder rolls first. So let's see, if you want to mirror me, it's going to be your left hand. You're going to reach across, kind of grab onto your right thigh. If you are comfortable to cross this leg over, you can cross that leg over. And then I'm going to sit as tall as I can, and I'm going to bring the other hand to the shoulder. As I breathe in, I'm going to sit tall and rotate, pulling into that thigh so I can get a little bit of a seated twist here. And now we can do these backward circles of the arm, that the hand's on the shoulder. Try to get some movement through that shoulder blade. Breathing in, trying to lengthen through the spine, breathing out a little bit more of a rotation. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time. And when you're ready, come unwind yourself from that side. And we're going to balance it out on the other side. So you can start with grabbing onto the opposite thigh. Option of crossing that leg over. Sit up as tall as you can. And then the other hand's going to grab onto the shoulder, pulling your body into that twist, turning the head and neck. And then about between 5 and 10 backward circles. You don't have to count them. Breathe and move. Trying to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, lengthen on that inhale. Rotate a hair more on that exhale. When you finish, go ahead and release. Uncrossing the leg. All right. And then our second to last piece here, you're going to hold on to the seat of the chair, kind of shimmy your weight to one side of the chair, hold on to the edge, and then we're going to take the other hand to the opposite knee, and then that sliding down towards the ankle, get a little bit more stretching in that lower back. Biasing the stretch towards one side of the body, you're most commonly going to feel it from the side that you're leaning away from. Try to send your breath into that area where you feel that tension. When you're ready, making your way back up to seated, and then same thing, opposite side. If you need to kind of shimmy in your chairs, scoot your hips to the other side, hanging on to the hand to the knee, bow that head down, and then sliding down on the opposite side. Just slide enough to feel that stretch, and then pause there and breathe. Do one more nice deep breath. And when you're ready, return to that upright posture. Fantastic. All right, maybe a little bit of side to side motion through the neck, some gentle neck circles. I know I'm sneaking in a couple extra things, and then we'll get ready for our final breaths together. So we're going to bring the hands together in front of the heart. As you breathe in, raise those arms. You can shrug your shoulders slightly. And then as you breathe out, relax those shoulders down, circle those arms out to the side, palms forward. Good. Twice more. Try to breathe in some positive energy, some love, some joy. Breathe out all the tension, all the things that we maybe don't understand about the world. Last time, send some light, send some love out into the ethers, and then let all that worry go. Wonderful. All right, give yourself a round of applause. Be grateful for what your body can do. I am grateful for you being here today. Thanks for moving with me. Try to finish your water before you jump into what's next. I know I found myself like I had my glass of water and it's like 2 hours later, my glass is still full. Doesn't help to carry your bottle around. You actually have to drink the water to be hydrated. So when it's still kind of chilly outside, it's a little bit more challenging, but you're going to feel better, have better energy. Your muscles and your joints are going to move better. So much of our body is water. So stay hydrated, eat some good vegetables, and I hope to move with you again next week.